Regal Movie Masters. Unlimited.
This is the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited podcast where we indiscriminately watch every goddamn movie that comes out at the local theater. Your movie masters today are Justine.
Hi.
Brent.
Yeah.
Dylan.
What's up?
And I'm Colin. We got a fun little batch of flicks for you today. We got John Wick Chapter 4, The Lost King, and A Good Person. A little threefer that we'll cover in that order. Always have to let everyone know that we have an email that we can be reached at if you have any questions, comments, pithy remarks, life advice. Your movie masters 760 at gmail.com. That's movie masters 760 at gmail.com. Hit us up and let us know if you want your name read on the air. Otherwise, we default to anonymous because your privacy matters. That's why we recommend you use NordVPN. NordVPN. Use promo code movie. No, we don't have a VPN yet. Talked VPN.
A sponsorship.
Yeah. I talked VPN at the shop with some kids. They came in and we're talking about the Style Council documentary, which I didn't know exists. I was like, how do you watch that? They're like, it's not in America. We had to use a VPN. I was like, oh, did you use promo code AVGN and get 10% off? They didn't get it. Oh. So one day we'll get the promo code. John Wick Chapter 4 is a movie. Got this guy Keanu Reeves in it. This is man, respect. You know what? I like these movies. John Wick movies respect the intelligence of their audience by making very dumb movies. And one thing that they also respect is normal sequencing. Mm-hmm. Chapter 4. It's the fourth movie. Happened after the third one.
It's not like John Wick.
Redemption.
He's back at it again.
John Wick, back for more.
Yeah.
No, it's just Chapter 4. You got the same director, Chad Stahelski, who's done all the other ones. Keanu, all the gang is back. It's the last entry for our legend, Lance Riddick. Rest in peace. God tier actor. I've tried to explain the John Wick verse to people who haven't seen it all. And it's like, it starts, the first movie is like kind of a simple revenge story, right? And then basically each movie you get deeper and deeper into this world of assassins and sects within the assassins guilds and this international network of assassins and everything. And so this movie is just further down that rabbit hole. We're getting more deep into it with no real resolution, I don't feel. I think they're always kind of open-ended and could keep going.
Each chapter is a consequence of the previous one, maybe?
Sure. But I mean, it's also just you're learning more about this world, about this network of gangs and, families and all that. My real curiosity in this film, and again, this is all just really thinly veiled excuses for crazy action sequences, right? We're comfortable not nitpicking the finer points of like the plots of these movies or the premises or what happens to these bodies when they get shot and all that. Like, we're just cool with me like, yeah, action.
Yeah, think of it like a video game.
Sure.
The bodies disintegrate.
Yes.
I am worried that their definition of Kevlar will actually get people killed in real life.
Yeah, see, things like that, I'm like, whatever. It's fine. We're nitpicking. But the bone that I keep sticking with these movies is that, like, there's all this money in these assassin networks, right? But it's like, I've yet to see the John Wick movie where someone does a regular job, like, hi, I'd like to hire an assassin, please. Like, he's just a local guy. Can you just have him killed, like, for $10,000 or how much? Like, there's this never. I don't know how they make money, is what I'm trying to say. You understand as an abstract.
We only get the glimpse into the John Wick's life. You know what I mean? Like, whereas, like, there's all these, like, networks of apparently thousands of people that are normally taking people out. And Wick himself, but prior to when we meet him, killed a lot of people for money.
But given the amount of opulence and luxury you see in, like, every nook and cranny, and that's something we could talk about as far as, like, the look of this film, like the marquee guy, our homie Bill Skarsgård.
Skarsgård's terrible French accent.
Right? This bougie French guy. He's got, like, nice stuff everywhere. And it looks cool. It's effective. Nice, luxury, opulent stuff. Mm-hmm. Good set pieces, right? But I don't know where they get the money for this stuff. It can't be that many assassinations going on all the time.
It could be what the kids like to call generational wealth.
I
Yeah, because these are families.
Sure, in the marquee sense, sure, but like with the hotels and stuff, like these motherfuckers just throw down gold coins and ledgers and
I don't know that they're gold.
well, whatever.
Yeah, those
you know
are
what I'm
just
saying?
symbols. Those
They're
aren't actual
tokens.
currency.
Yeah, it's like let me in, but I don't know how these people make money and given that we've had 4 movies that have only really expanded on this world and gotten you deeper into like the byways of all these guilds and stuff, you'd think that would come up a little bit more often. Like the price on John Wick's head, he is in bad with these guys just perpetually, and so the price on his head just keeps going up. But it's like, where do you guys have this money from? I don't know. That's my weird sticking point. I know. I'm just saying. I think this wouldn't bother me if we weren't on the 4th film. I just need to see some, and maybe in future installments we can get some more boots on the ground, like foot soldiers assassinating people, getting some money, giving the guild a kickback. All right. And does the numbers seem off? There's a lot. There is endless amounts of people who are trained murderers in every major city who will just risk it all. And like
every homeless person is an assassin.
Oh my God, there's so many. There's so many. There can't be that many people who want murders done. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's a buyer's market.
Absolutely. Which
I don't think they all have to be assassins. They could just be like thugs of some sort. And then it's like, hey, that's why it's a big deal when it's like, hey, there's this open contract. Anybody who wants to kill John Wick, you can do it. I think all the other, like the smaller guys are just like criminals.
All right.
Working class goons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like they're all murderers, but they're all going to try for $26 million or whatever.
So we're only seeing you. So your premise is that this is just a larger criminal organization.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And because you see like the higher up murderers,
Right.
are a lot of them are like just bodyguards, of really important people. And so that's why those like boss fights happen.
Yeah.
They're like the really skilled ones. So I don't think they're really hiring them out.
But it's like at the same time, you watch Sopranos, they'll steal some TVs.
Well, because you have multiple episodes in one season and then multiple seasons, so of course you can get in the minutia of it all.
Yeah. I guess
this is just like the highlight reel, like literally the highlight reel.
True. This guy, this director guy, these are the only movies he directs.
Makes sense to
Really?
me.
Yes, he is. He's done a million stunts for everything, including The Matrix, which is like, oh yeah, that's why he knows all these people and can keep getting him to come back and
He was
do
like,
stuff.
hey, that was fun, right?
He was in The Crow. He was the stuntman for Brandon Lee. Yeah,
Weird.
heavy, right? But as far as directing behind the camera, was it just John Wick movies?
He's like, look, I know there's one thing in this world I know how to do.
Fucking great. I think that's got to be why these work, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just a singular focus of this guy, and he's obviously must be super nice with Keanu and all that to get him, because these do seem dumber than a Keanu Reeves, at least public persona, right?
Oh, way dumber. Yeah.
And not really like positive.
Nope.
Like, again, I respect the movies because they don't try to push like a kind of morality or anything. I don't know what.
Not at all.
like, is there? Did you guys
be nice to dogs?
Yeah, vengeance is bad, probably.
But I will kill you.
Yeah, but also it just keeps going and going and going. Also looks really fucking cool. It's like anti-cigarette commercials where it's like, ooh, these are so bad for me, but they look pretty fucking cool, right?
Yep.
That would explain a lot why he's always getting hit by cars and falling downstairs.
Yeah.
Those are very stuntman,
right?
Stuntman jobs.
Oh yeah, he's probably gets all his homies work, huh? Yeah. Just mobs of people.
Yeah, John Wick fights like 700 people a movie.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people getting some jobs. You know, one thing I was wondering about though, talking about how these movies connect or something, they just ditched that Halle Berry character from the last one.
Yeah, I mean, I
thought that's what this was going to be like, where they team up. Instead, there's a new dog in town.
They also could have had him team up with Akira after her father gets killed, but they kind of just abandoned that character as well.
Well, I read somewhere initial cut of the movie was like 4 hours long. So I'm pretty sure they were just like, look, let's get the main things in here. And
how did you guys feel about the length?
I didn't even feel it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even notice it was like
No
that
kidding.
long
Okay.
until afterwards.
Yeah, to me, I think it would have been annoying if they put in a bunch of like non-Wick verse type tropes or whatever
Yeah.
into it. Like if now he has a new love interest or they're like diverging away. But it is just like if you play beat 'em up games like, you know, Streets of Rage and shit, it's just like there's more levels to it. It's not like, you know, you're
Especially
playing
that overhead scene. It was it was the most video game movie scene I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like you know, to keep it in video game world, it's not like you're playing Streets of Rage and then all of a sudden you have to like, you know, do a fishing and Minecrafting kind of. There's no crafting. They don't change up the game mechanics. It's just more levels where you're going through places and beating up a bunch of people. And so it's like this movie just felt like more of a Wick movie rather than like, here's some Wick and then here's some new bullshit we're trying, or here's some like forced idea that we're putting in this movie. It's like, no, it's just a king size bar.
Yeah.
Like, again, these are dumb movies that are just here for crazy action scenes. So it's like you can't really complain about more action scenes.
Yeah. And they even do this really funny thing where it's like, I need to talk to this guy. Oh, he's dead. I'm the new guy. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Like not skipping a beat. That's fine. Now I'm dealing with you. Everything is in service to moving this along. He has like 10 lines in the movie anyway.
Most of which were just,
Yeah. I love that stuff though.
Just the simplicity of it.
Yeah. He is just singularly focused and everyone's just like, all right, well,
Yeah.
you know John Wick.
And old Wick again.
what do you guys think of Donnie Yen? Blind guy.
Is he?
He was a blind guy in Rogue One too.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
that's what I thought. And I'm like, he's not really blind, right? It's kind of weird that they're just like, hey, you can look blind, right?
I think maybe whoever wrote it or cast it or whatever just watched Rogue One and was just like, let's have a blind guy in John Wick 4.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because me and Justine got recently introduced to the world of Zatoichi, the blind swordsman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And immediately upon watching it, I was like, oh, this is what John Wick comes from. Because it's like this guy comes into town on some, we've seen 4 of these movies, like the first 4. And, you know, everyone underestimates him because he's a blind guy. They're like, this guy, he's blind or whatever. And he's like, all right. You know, he kind of plays along with it. And it's just, you know, classic rope-a-dope hustle. You know, he just ends up murking just a copious amount of people by the end of the movie. And it's just like, you know, a cool guy you like to watch. So when I when I saw the Zatoichi movies, I was like, oh, this is John Wick. And now they went a step further and actually included a blind swordsman in the movie as if a further nod. So
Like, this is the last movie, so let's
really tip our cards. It's not the last movie. You crazy? It's chapter 4. It's not the final chapter.
they need to start using the
No,
words.
No, I think we're going to get these movies.
Well, they
Well-
are doing like the ballerina series, supposed to be doing that still, but actually Lance Reddick was supposed to be in it, so I don't know.
It also just made $75 million in 2 days. So, yeah, I think there'd be a lot of pressure to keep going in some capacity.
Okay, question posed to the group. Does Keanu need to be in a John Wick movie?
I would want him in one.
Of
What about you,
course.
Dylan?
I don't know. I would like to be in it, but in like the Jigsaw way.
Go on.
Oh, yeah. Either Jigsaw or Ghost Billy from Scream.
Yeah, like in a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like
Yeah,
that.
it's like from the book of Wick.
But I would like it in my sense where it would just keep doing flashbacks of like times you've never seen before,
Right.
and like it was
Different perspectives from shit you're familiar with, but like you didn't see it the same way.
Well, no, I would like it like, let's say that girl from the hotel,
Yeah.
Right.
she's like remembering back when she was like 14 and John Wick just shows up.
Training her.
Yeah,
And she hated him even then.
yeah.
And then in the movie, of course, like Keanu Reeves is like 10 years older than when he was in the movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's supposed to happen like 20 years earlier than the
They
scene.
just shave off his stubble.
Yeah, he's still dead. Just keeps getting older.
Well, then they can be like, oh, he was sick. Is that what they do in Saw movies?
In the last one, Jigsaw, or not the last one, but in Jigsaw, they said this is like pre-Saw 1. They show him and he's all old now, like he's current age, and he's like, I just got out of the hospital because I had cancer.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Was that the one where he has his hat on backwards?
no, that's 3D.
Okay. Yeah.
But in Jigsaw, they explained that he just got out of the hospital for having cancer, and like that's why he's all sick looking.
Yeah.
But in the other ones, he's never sick. He has cancer.
He's just
but
much
like
older than.
he just looks about what he looked like back then.
Kind of a clever way of doing it, gotta say. Saw.
Yeah. Oh, it's a very smart. Like we talked about these movies being dumb. If you want to watch a smart movie
Yes.
franchise, a smart 10 movie run, just watch Saw.
Yeah, obviously. What do you guys think of the tracker? Like, what role did he play in the movie? Now that you've seen the whole thing, like, was he needed?
Dogs.
Yeah, just to bring a dog in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point.
Like a full circle from the first one.
Sure.
And it's like, well, there's some correcting thing because the first.
I think it's maybe to give facial reactions at the end. We're
Right.
just eating and drinking a beer.
Yeah, I guess he's sort of our, view into the world of Wick because he's an outsider to it. And I mean, again, I think if there's any sort of like larger idea they're working with in the movie, it is just sort of to expand this criminal underworld.
Yeah.
And so it's like to be able to see someone who works with them but isn't a part of them is like an exciting addition to the world. But
Who was, now we're on the topic, who was your favorite new addition that you saw in this one?
I mean, Zatoichi.
oh, the blind, you like the
Right? I don't
Yeah.
know. There's not really
shoot, what's
anyone-
his name in it? Kane.
Kane.
Yeah, yeah. And then Akira is the daughter of the Continental Tokyo owner. I'm going to go with Klaus, the big guy with the
Oh,
gold
that guy
teeth.
was hard.
Yeah.
The fucking the kingpin.
Throwing spinning
Tough.
back kicks. And
The Kingpin.
Yeah,
Kinda.
that was more of a
It reminded me, I don't know why, but it just reminded me more of the Penguin from the last Batman
but
movie.
he's so huge.
Penguin was huge.
Penguin's huge, yeah.
Well, I mean, not.
You're talking about Colin Firth?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Colin
yeah.
Farrell.
Farrell.
Yeah, I just think of the comics when like they're talking about fighting the kingpin, where it's like you think this is fat, it's all muscle,
Yeah.
and he's like slower, but he hits harder, and the fight mechanics were that of a rang true to the kingpin.
That fight was so long that I started watching people on the periphery
Oh, that's the best.
when they're dancing.
Yeah.
And they're just like in their face, just still dancing.
And that's not just a Wick 4. If you go,
It's every Wick.
Someone
Yeah.
needs to do the supercut of just background characters in John Wick movies.
Yeah.
Not
like
caring.
either not caring or like mildly reacting or like terribly reacting, but
As soon as the fight's over too, they all run out.
right. Yeah, every one of these movies that comes across, any like background character is just subject to the most brutal onslaughts
Yeah,
of
but they don't really mind.
yeah.
Or this is like a universe that's not quite ours, you know,
Right.
where these sort of things happen, and it's like,
How was your theater experience? Was it rowdy? Was it chill?
That was really chill.
Yeah. That's same with mine.
Yeah, actually, people were just respectful as
Yeah,
shit.
they were just watching.
yeah.
We saw it Thursday, so that's opening night. So that was like the real Wick heads come out,
Yeah.
and I think people were just like, yeah, everyone was on the right page. Just we're watching
Yeah.
this. Funny things happen. There was a reaction, but no, there was no dicking around. I mean, long ass movie too, and very little going out to get snacks or whatever. People were focused. They were watching this movie. I was watching this movie. I was one of them.
Yeah, I was one of
Me and my fellow Wick heads were getting down. Brent, was yours a little different?
It was, and it goes back to what we say on this podcast a lot, which is, you've heard Colin. If you're familiar with past episodes, Colin's gone off on luxury cinemas, and sometimes I've thought maybe he's being a bit too harsh, but that's only because I have not been in a quote unquote luxury cinema in a long time because of this podcast, and so I went to one that will remain unnamed, and their definition of luxury, and this is a chain, is basically, I would describe like a 2003 Sheraton. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, at one point, maybe that was, cutting edge architecture and design, but like, it's just so dated and worn in. And the big issue that I know that you have is when people have the capacity to order food at their seats. It was, yeah, I see the light now because
Right.
it was the most disgusting experience I've had ever going to a movie theater, because the smell like of
Right.
John Wick Saturday night, like holy shit. Like you joke that like people order shrimp scampi. Yeah, they were ordering like
Yeah.
pasta dishes, lobster tacos, just belching and chewing. You hear like packaging being opened up. You hear people like having trouble digesting things. And it just smelled horrible. So it was I would say the crowd was respectful of the movie, but they were also eating full-blown multi-course meals.
Yeah.
It's distracting.
Sounds like a very slurp-based menu, too.
No.
Just
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Donnie Yen slurping noodles was like music to my ears compared to what I
Right.
was actually hearing in real life. The screen was badass. I'll give them that. You know, like to see that movie on such a
Right.
huge high def screen was really cool. I think like in terms of like all the John Wick movies, this one probably had the best action scenes. I think 2 is the best movie, but 4 probably has like the most like innovative, fresh, like, oh, cool. They're doing
Right.
that, you know. That overhead scene with the crazy gun,
yeah.
that was wild. One take.
Jeez. Yeah, that was a total video game moment.
Yeah. Yeah, even like the way the camera moved, it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, I'm getting a little nauseous.
No, you know that movie Holy Motors?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, with Kylie Minogue.
Like just an overhead thing, just
Yep.
like slowly panning around.
Right.
Good reference. Holy
I
shit.
thought that was a weird part, actually. Like, that's the only thing that I was like, this does not match. But it does look cool because you get to see that crazy gun that he has.
Mhm.
I like the scene where Kane wastes his cool little motion detecting
Right.
little stick
His doorbells.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was
Yeah.
But
really
he
cool.
didn't need it on the stairs. Yeah, whatever.
Look.
Yeah. It was just to show you that he had cool stuff.
Yeah.
He could do
like,
cool things.
It's not lost on me that we watched a duel with a blind man, a pistol duel with a blind man. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, and he was chosen too, so it wasn't like I want the best marksman. It was like this guy's here.
Yeah.
I want him to go for me instead.
But he also lost the card game where you get to pick what weapons you want to use.
Mm,
Because he was like blades.
right,
and then He
right.
said pistols. And then they got pistols. So,
That was a cool game,
yeah. I want those cards.
right? And you know what I like about another thing I like about the Wick franchise? Not a lot of merchandising. You
No.
don't have to look at Wick shirts or gear. I
Yeah.
don't know what the Funko Pop game is like.
What was the movie studio that made it?
It's not Lionsgate, is it?
Oh yeah, it was Lionsgate. Yeah. That's probably why, because like you know, if it was like a Universal property, you'd have
Right,
a
right.
whole section of the park with a gift shop.
Yeah,
you know.
I like it that way. It just reminds me of simpler times.
All this stuff is too fancy.
Yeah,
What are you
that
going to
too.
make like a plastic?
Gun.
Yeah.
Ballistic
You know what? It
lasers.
might be a liability thing too, because if you make the suit and somebody gets their ass shot,
Right.
or tries to fall 7 stories in it,
I mean, you would think coins or brooches or something,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't. I mean, the opportunity is there, but it's just such a different demographic. Than
but even
like,
then, people get punched out at Starbucks. They'd be like, "I'm of service," and slide a coin. It's like, no, get the fuck out of the way. I'm trying to like do these 56 lattes for the morning rush.
Yeah, but I mean, in a world where Harry Potter crests are all over the
Oh,
place, like there's a world where you could pull it off. I don't know why I'm so scarred by this, but like, I recently saw a guy with the Darth Vader hoodie, but like, the all over
Yeah,
print
yeah,
one
yeah,
where it
it's
looks
just,
like his suit. He was wearing it with galaxy print joggers. And I was like, man, I don't know if you ever wear like really bright colored pants, but it's like if you got anything going on beneath the waist that isn't like a fall hue, anything
Yeah.
brighter than that, that is the centerpiece of your outfit. You need a black or white shirt. You need simple shoes.
Yeah.
Everything
Wait, it
needs to be
was
simple.
brightly colored?
It was a galaxy print.
Yes, but what color is
Joggers.
it?
Like galaxy is like the nebula or something.
So I'm picturing like black, but with like
No.
swirly
Okay.
things.
Oh, just look under the table. Like Colin's wearing them right now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
galaxy print
Yeah,
joggers.
yeah.
Okay.
But see,
I
and
always
I
said that was more like
He had the tearaways over.
sparkly.
no, like
No.
what do they call it? Unicorn poop at
Yeah, something
Starbucks.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of jogger.
Like pink and green.
Like a My Little Pony hair or
And
something.
just wearing the something about wearing the Darth Vader hoodie, the all over print Darth Vader
Well, because
hoodie.
Darth Vader's in space.
Yeah, see, that's why I
Oh,
thought
okay.
the
That's
black
why.
My
ones
bad.
make
Yeah,
sense.
My bad.
Yeah,
But
no, it made sense.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
yeah, you don't see any John Wick like all over print things or
It would just be a T-shirt with this tuxedo print on it.
I mean, the catchphrase of the movie is yeah.
Yeah.
She leans into a lot, so it's like it's not even can't just put that on a shirt. Good job, Wick.
And anything you could print would be seen as a threat in a school.
Right.
No subtlety. It's just like, I'm going to murder everybody in this room.
Again.
Even when people say bye to them, it's just like, can you do me the courtesy of killing as many people on your way out as possible? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I like these movies.
Yeah.
And so overall, John Wick Chapter 4, are we going to put the book down or are we going to keep reading? Me, myself, I'm going to keep flipping through this book. I hope there's many more chapters, so long as they keep this quality up. This is a strangely charming franchise. There's no reason why it should be as good as it is while also being as bad as it is. Like it's not a highfalutin deal you're getting yourself into. It's not the luxury cinemas, it's dollar theater.
Do you think it has to do with the lead and being a likable person and not having like weird ego problems and drama?
I mean, never hurts to have people who you already like, behind the helm. But there's also a lot of characters who, we got introduced to a slew of new ones here who were not like, we didn't watch in movies growing up our whole lives, and they're like, yeah, if it's going to be the same kind of action sets with the daughter of the hotel guy and, her merry adventures, I'm watching that. If it's the tracker and his deal, I'm watching that. So I really think it's just solid action, and not really trying to shoehorn in a whole lot of things and just not overstaying its welcome in terms of like a million spin-offs and franchisable stuff. It's like a hit song that's like popular. It's Helmet's Unsung. It's a hit song. It's popular, but it's not so overplayed that you're like, oh God, when it comes on. When Unsung hits, when you're listening to the whole Meantime album, you're not like, skip this, heard it too many times.
No way.
It's like, this is a banger. This is fucking good. Or Megadeth's Countdown to Extinction.
Yep.
Like just it's like overplayed. It's overplayed. It's popular, but it's still so fucking good.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been totally murdered to death,
Right.
And that's the John Wick franchise. It's out there. You're not onto something underground. There's no premise that you are. No one would be mistaken that you're watching high art when you're watching these movies. But they're so low key that you can just, have a good time, enjoy it. It's not ruined. So I'm going to keep reading, keep doing exactly what you're doing, John Wick, the franchise.
People would know, like a John Wick, even if you've never seen one, you'd be like, yeah, he's a, he's a fighing guy.
Yeah.
He's a good at killing guy.
It's a punch death movie. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. I kind of like if it would just stop, and I would be okay with it having like a spin-off, but I wouldn't want it to be like anything to do with him anymore.
Right.
I do think it depends a lot on the lead, and I think the reason it works so well with him, not necessarily Keanu, but Keanu, because they're kind of together now, the character and him, that he's a little bit of a blank slate, He just kind of does what you need him to do, which is just go kill everybody. I feel like if they were making another movie, they would probably try to make more of a story to it or something and like flesh out the character more, and that would not be Wick-like.
Yeah. You need the character to remain an idea.
Yeah.
More than, what was his father like?
Yeah, and the other problem that would present, which is like, okay, now there's this master assassin person who's really good at killing. It's like, we didn't hear about this person when everyone was going after John Wick. John Wick is the Baba Yaga. Everybody knows all about him. And then there's this, equally cool, but where were they? This is an Avengers Captain Marvel situation.
Well, see, but he knows not to go after Wick because game respects game, I mean, the only reason the blind guy was going after him is because of their ties to his daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially since they know it's hard work.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess you'd maybe want to see the Mr. Nobody, see if he can make money for him and his dog. That's his motivation.
Yeah, again, I can't stress enough. I just want the working man criminal story who's just like, yeah, I could go after this guy and get 20 million, or I could like off some annoying wives like 3 times a week.
So you want the Andor?
I just want the
John Wick. Okay.
Well, I guess the Andor would be like the story of the girls that do all the operators.
Yeah, I want to know what their deal is. Why do they all look the same?
Their Suicide Girl vibe
Yeah.
to you to work at that place. But that would be like the Andor. No, I just want like, just man on this, just lower rung, doing his job, making a lot of money, but just killing easy people to kill.
Probably just beat people up at that point.
I don't know. It's a lot of work too. Getting physical.
Yeah.
Just murk someone. Pa, 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 pa.
No, it's too much heat. You just beat somebody up, apparently. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I guess if I had money, I'd be like, hey, can you just fuck this guy up?
Yeah.
All right.
You don't have to kill him.
Yeah. No,
I don't want to have to deal with that.
and I imagine if they're as good as these, criminals are in these movies, they would be much more discreet. I think you could get away with it. So you're saying you're going to keep reading?
Sorry. I don't know.
I mean, well, what did just like a thumbs up, thumbs down? Did you
For
like-
this?
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot we were reading
This is a
movie.
euphemism. I'm not literally
Yes.
saying you have to
Talking
watch.
about the actual book of Wick.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about the extended book of Wick. Absolutely. Read it. Yeah, read it. Book on tape it. Watch the film adaptation of it. It's great.
Also cool that it's original content. I forgot to mention that. Like, this is built from the ground up. It's not based on anything other than the
Stunts.
homages and the
Warriors.
rip-offs and stuff. Yeah. I mean, they're
Warriors with a septum ring.
a lot of bites, but whatever. It's not. This is an original character. It's not an Image comic first that they adapted or whatever. It is just built from the ground up movie.
I would like a 2-hour cut of this movie because I felt what was happening is like after a certain point, it just I don't know. It's not that it was repetitive, but I kept getting distracted and looking off to the side because I'm like, okay, yeah, he's fighting again, and then so I would start like counting the rounds that would come out. It'd be like there's 21 in this one. Like I'd start counting.
I think you were just getting blasted with lobster farts, dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I mean,
you were being
well, it's
distracted.
just- I don't know.
Couldn't get immersed.
I think like it's most effective. These movies are most effective when they're 2 hours or less, which I think they've all been to this point. And I've been like, cool, banger, in, out. This one was just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of made it harder to suspend disbelief in the end, because like they just kept showing him falling, and like I don't know, and like in this movie it was weird. Like he was pulling up his suit a lot to block bullets, which
Right.
I didn't really see in previous ones.
No, it works like that. That's physics.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was like really psyched on this one, like up until about an hour and 50 minutes, or so. And then it just kind of, like anything, like there's a little bit too much of it. But yeah, I would love a 2-hour cut of it. But I think the action in this one was the best. John Wick 2 is the best John Wick movie, in my opinion.
The length is what made it really cool.
Really?
Really?
When he goes up the stairs and then he
Yeah.
falls
yeah, 2
like a bunch
minutes to
of
go, and then
times.
it's,
Merciless.
Yeah, it really.
16
I
minutes
feel like
later,
it does a good job of you being like, man, it sucks. This is a hard thing. This is a hard road to walk down, John Wick. Where it's just like it's one day, but he has to go through all this stuff just to make it to this duel, and that's
Right.
like the main thing. The main boss.
It's cool that he doesn't ever sleep or poop or eat
No.
or anything.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, he runs on hate.
Dylan?
I too also run on hate. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Were you man enough to stay after the credits, dude?
Oh, shit. What happened after the credits?
Oh well,
Give it to him, Dylan.
they're showing his called the ground he was buried in,
Yeah.
and then like it's just a zoom. It's like a low horizon of like his gravestone.
Uh-huh.
Someone's talking about something. But then you see a bunch of rocks like kind of float up in the air.
I'm gonna
No.
fight you. I'm going to pay a guy with a metal rod to beat you in the back of the head. Would you do that, Dylan? Would you pay a guy with a metal rod to beat
Just do it
someone?
myself. I gotta pay someone for it.
But you get in trouble if you do it.
Anyway, no, for real though. Whatever. Anyway, so for real,
So there
though-
was no post credit.
No, there is a post credit. The post credits is like they show you the music school academy, and like Kane's daughter's playing violin in front of it. Then Kane like walks out of like a subway tunnel,
Okay.
and he has like flowers for his daughter. Then the other daughter that you kind of would forget about, of the hotel,
Yep. Akira.
Kira shows up,
Okay.
and you just see her in a hoodie. He's like following him. Then he pulls out a knife, and that it just cuts from there. So Akira's walking up to Kane. That's Kane's going to his daughter, but Akira pulls out a knife.
because
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
Kane
a-
did kill
His
yeah,
dad, her
okay.
dad.
It's a pretty big loose thread.
Yeah, 'cause
Well,
he
they
was
didn't-
like, "I'll be waiting for you."
But
Yeah, that's
Okay,
why
but,
it's
but
like
that could be wrapped up in 2 minutes.
they didn't show it. That means there'll be the Book of Wick
yeah, these
Akira.
two people fighting.
or Kane.
Short fight.
That was the only
Yeah.
reaction that I heard in the audience is like when Akira like takes off her hotel garb and has like that leather like fighting
Yeah,
outfit.
yeah,
Everyone went, "Oh shit!" That was it. That was the only reaction the entire movie. It was really weird.
Yeah, we get when he gets tumbled down the stairs and he keeps tumbling.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Oh, okay.
There was laughing
that
at
hit. Yeah.
Yes.
I saw a later showing, so a lot of people were asleep.
Yeah. All that buttery lobster.
If there's stairs around,
Bro,
John
when
Wick's
he's in
gonna
that
fall off.
when he's in that big old building and he just jumps out the window and falls like three
Yep,
stories.
3 stories.
I want
Just
like,
F you, that's why.
so somebody was like interviewing him and was saying how many like bodies John
Yeah.
Wick had, and Keanu was like, that seems low. I want to know like how many cars he's gotten hit by,
Right.
like a stair count.
I've done, again, because John Wick fans are cool and they just watch the movies and shut up.
Yeah.
Don't shove their life down your face. I don't see a lot of like, you know, the highlights or stats on the John Wick kills, but I gotta start seeking these out because I bet they're out there. The Lost King is a movie. Also, it's directed by Stephen Frears. You guys know about this guy? Have you heard about this guy?
I know the
You know this
name.
guy?
Yeah.
What is his big movie? I already did this with Dylan.
I couldn't tell you.
He did High Fidelity.
There you go.
Isn't that weird? I don't know. I thought that was
Not
weird.
too weird.
It's
Okay.
weird.
It's weird. Okay.
It's
He
like
goes-
a historical drama.
Yeah. Well, he goes.
Fidelity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, he goes back directing through the 60s. He's done a whole bunch of stuff. My Beautiful Laundrette. Does anyone else see that movie?
I haven't seen it.
Like
Beautiful what?
My Beautiful Laundrette. I think it's an adaptation of a book, but it's just like 80s BBC.
That's one of those things
film.
where I think I thought you were challenging our honesty.
No.
You know what I mean? Because like, see if any of us would say yes.
It was
like,
a fake movie.
That's a fake
Caught
movie,
you.
idiot.
No, he did My Beautiful. He did Dangerous Liaisons with Glenn Close.
okay.
Yeah.
He's a legend. He's done a lot of movies, and I don't know why I didn't. I don't know his name until now, but now got you clocked, Stephen Frears. Also stars Sally Hawkins as Philippa Langley, and so I guess I'll go real dumb, and I think anyone else in this room is smarter than me to explain it better. But basically, the Richard III, whomst.
Oh, big word.
Whomst Willie Shakespeare wrote a little play about. They apparently didn't know like where this guy was buried or where his body was, and like he's just one of these figures in history who just have a lot of misinformation put out about him due to the fact that like the successor of him wanted to like kind of wipe his memory free or just
Fucking tutors.
yeah, just spread some bullshit about him, So basically, there's just not a lot of information, including, shockingly enough, where he's buried. And this is the real life story of Philippa Langley, who's just a little gal from Britain, and it's where this movie takes place. It's also the country that Richard III was the king of.
Oh.
Yeah, cool, right? And she's like, I'm gonna figure this. She just gets obsessed with this story, and she starts reading everything about it, hanging out with the Richard III Society. Creates a tulpa in which he is her, boyfriend, and she's just super into Richard III. She's got Richard III on her brain, and eventually kind of cracks the code, like where she's like, I think I know where this guy's fucking buried. And it's kind of the story of her getting anyone else in the world to listen to her and like get this project funded, because you could imagine like excavating a modern city. It's under a car park, at least. Imagine just the logistics of just being a person on the street without real connections to anything, being like, hey, I think this pretty important historical figure is buried here. How do we get him out? How can we do this? And it's a one woman versus the machine kind of story. She slowly gets things done with the help of fellow Richard III enthusiasts, and it is a very delightful film. Did you know this story beforehand?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. So yeah, it was big in the news, but I wasn't paying attention when it happened. Yeah.
It was really cool because while it was happening, it was like, they're gonna dig here. They're thinking this is a pretty good location. It's like, all right, and so they get ready. They break ground and they're like, oh, there he is. It really happened like that. Whereas like the first place they dug, he was there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, and then they did all the DNA testing and stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's him. What do you know? It's really weird too. I'm not very well versed in Shakespeare. I read like a couple of things in school or whatnot, and I've never read Richard III. Have you read it?
Don't think so. No.
Yeah, I
But what's the? Oh, that's my horse, a kingdom for the horse. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's cool that she sees a play,
Right.
like a stage production of
Yeah.
this play, and that's when she gets like fixated on it. And so in her mind, her imaginary friend Richard is the actor. You know, he's portrayed as the actor in the William Shakespeare play. And so I really like at the end when she meets the actor.
Right.
And she's like, Richard. And he's like, what? My name's like Steven or something like that. That was a clever way of doing it because she really like just knew about Richard III already. It wasn't like she got inspired by a play, but I thought that was cute.
So I feel like I've done a disservice in just objectively describing this movie, because if someone objectively described to me this movie, I would say it sounds really fucking boring.
Yeah.
And I would not be interested in watching it at all. But so this movie really made me think of the idea of nostalgia, you know, because the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, this feels like, not like it's like something I've seen before, but it has the feel of a lot of movies I grew up watching.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was the score, because it's a very, it's just an orchestral score. And it has that kind of weird quality that like a Danny Elfman score might have, not as over the top, but, you know, has that
whimsical.
Well, there we go. Boom. A sense of whimsy about it. And I was like, there's this like nebulous of movies from like the late 80s and early 90s where there's like sort of supernatural realism.
What grabbed me, and I think they knew it because they had a line that was a lyric from the song, but Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence, where the king is just wandering around. That's all I could think of the entire
that
time.
video.
And then there was like a point at the end where she's talking to him, and I think he says like, words are very unnecessary. I was like, what? Like, so yeah, it was something like that. It was like, it was a line from the song. So I'm like, they know, but it's like, yeah, if you wanted to punch up the description, it's like, yeah, like the king from the Depeche Mode video goes like, meets like a Richard III truther.
Right.
And hijinks ensue. I don't know. It's the type of thing that I didn't know anything about it going into the movie. And that's how I like to watch a lot of the movies we see. But once it kicked in and I saw, you know, the actors and actresses like Coogs is her husband,
Right.
You know, so it's just like, and you know, like Hawkins, you're just like, oh wow, I know all these people. I've seen them in a bunch of stuff. They're all together. This is good. And then when they started interacting, you're like, oh my god, they're really good at what they do. The story is pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's just like, I can't think of the last biopic I saw that was that awesome.
Yeah,
it's
and
been a while.
I guess it's not so much a biography about the people so much as it is the event, which I always feel that's going to be the better story, right?
Yeah, like, you know, I guess like
kind
to
of
be
film.
Loosely, it's a Philippa biopic.
But it's about her doing this one thing. It's not like about
it's not about
her
whole life.
story or anything.
But it does kind of get into that, like, you know, like her relationship with her husband. I thought that, okay, I'll tell you what I thought was really cool about it, aside from the nostalgic aspects, was like the relationship with the husband wasn't just like, oh, he's my ex, and like, and it's just like shit you've seen before. It was like, oh, he still supports her and donates to like her cause. And still believes in her as a human.
Kids together.
They just know that they don't work as like a romantic couple.
Yeah.
But they're still awesome together, being forces in each other's life. And then I liked there's a point that I thought was pretty valuable for people watching it, in that intuition and hunches and beliefs like play a big part in everybody's life, and they can guide you to certain things. And in her case, it guided her to finding Richard III. But there's different settings where you need to have other information to get what you want in order to follow up on that belief. For instance, when she is presenting to the University of Leicester, which I appreciate being the enemy or the bad guy in this film.
Right.
Like, she's presenting to them, and they're like, well, you know, the prick, you know, it just says, well, how do you know that he's here in this lot? She goes, it's my gut feeling, you know, or like, you know, like, I'm paraphrasing, but, you know, and he laughs at her, you know, and her ally in that room comes out later, you know, and says, hey, yeah, in that setting, don't ever mention belief.
Right.
Or anything like that. You have to have like metrics and data and shit like that, which she could have done, you know, but in her mind, she's just so obsessed, and I think a little bit broken. You know what I mean? So she's just like, you don't see it? I see it. It's right, you know, right here. So I think that was a really cool message, because I've noticed that throughout life, you know. So I think that's what rang true with me. Like,
There's definitely a message about code switching, if you will.
There you go. Yeah.
I was trying to think of what it reminded me of, and again, this is the more distance I have from being young, the more of these memories kind of come at me in like an impressionistic way. And I felt that this is the most insane parallel to draw, but once I zeroed in on it, I couldn't switch it. Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
Because she has like an imaginary, it's an adult woman with an imaginary friend. I mean, in this movie, her imaginary friend is Richard III. Yeah. And in Drop Dead Fred, it's the punk rocker from the Young Ones, right? So, a little bit different. Little Monsters was, I think, where my first guess was, because also it was imaginary friend based and from that time. And again, just like it's not supernatural realism, because some shit will happen in these movies and in the movies I watched a lot growing up that isn't real, but they don't spend a whole lot of time like distinguishing fantasy from reality. Mm-hmm. And it's refreshing to watch a movie that reminds me of that time. And it's, absolutely great performances, great cinematography and stuff like that. But just the tone of it really just took me back to the way I felt when I would watch movies like this as a kid. Really delightful to watch and very entertaining, very funny, a lot of very laughter, funny, short as a movie, respectful of run times, always important. For really dry subject matter, if you think about it, we're talking about archaeology, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. It's just the characters in it are so fun and the pacing is right and it's sweet. Philippa running around looking like a little Gilbert Gottfried. Mm-hmm. Like it's just completely endearing to watch. It was
the society.
Yeah.
She joins.
Yeah, this club of Richard III
weirdos.
Enjoyers. Yeah. Weirdos who like aren't, I don't know, like a conventional kind of weirdo. Like we're cyberpunks, we're hackers, or whatever. It's like, no,
these are that elder gentleman that's like warning her, you still have time to get out of this society.
Yeah, man. This is Charm City, this movie. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about it.
As you've mentioned before on this podcast, this is the movie for the people that don't go to a lot of movies and complain about how they don't make real movies anymore. Yeah, this is a real movie.
Yeah, if you think it's all Marvel movies and Fast and Furiouses and remakes and stuff, like, here you go. Here's this flick. Yeah, watch it. You won't, you fucking coward. Yeah, but go see this.
Yeah, movie. I will say that if you don't go see this movie, you're a coward. How about that?
Dylan, our Chad British culture appreciator.
Yeah.
I just want to hear what you think about the movie.
Oh, I liked it, but I have a real question.
I'm listening.
And like, I'm not trying to disparage.
Uh-huh.
So when I was watching it, when she was talking to John III.
Right. Richard III.
Richard. She was talking to John Wick III.
Yes.
John Wick for the third
Richard
time.
Chapter 3.
Yes. When I was watching it, I went, oh, this is just happening in her head, obviously.
Right. Of course.
But then when they showed the scene with the son watching her talk to herself, was that
again? This is supernatural realism.
But if it's based on a true story, what is?
Well, I mean, I think if it was a really
inspired by.
Yeah, I feel like if they were telling us a true story, it would be a very boring film.
But I'm saying, like,
are you wondering if the real life Philippa Langley
has like schizophrenia?
Yeah, was chopping it up with Dickie Trace.
Yes.
Like up to that point, there was a part of me like watching that I was like, this might be a belief I have. Like to accomplish like really great things.
Yeah.
You have to be a little fucking crazy.
Right. And I mean, singularly obsessed and focused, like to your own detriment.
And maybe a little broken.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think people get fixated on especially small subjects like that without there being some thing they're trying to compensate for. And it's like, it's always ultimately about control, right?
Yeah.
You can be either very knowledgeable in this one subject matter, even though you're like, basically you're useless in society, That
was the thing with, she has an illness.
Right.
And it's a chronic illness that it's sad because she's like, it's a real thing. Not just messing around. So yeah, that's where that comes from, where she just kind of is feeling helpless and like nobody understands her, and then she feels like nobody really understood this guy. And she makes a point of saying like, oh, they were saying he's a hunchback and all that. And so a disability means you're a monster,
Right.
you know, so
Yeah.
there's that aspect.
And then
of
you
it,
remember
too.
that scene when Richard III is like, not so different, you and I. It's pretty crazy, right?
That was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wait, okay, so you're saying that like the scene where the son's looking out the window, he does not see.
yeah, they're clearly showing that she's just talking to herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's just something.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I accepted that. Like,
Yeah, that's fine.
it's
I'm
like-
just
it's
making
like-
sure. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to like.
No.
yeah.
It's an imaginary friend.
Cool. Anyway,
But she needed that because like she was running into walls wherever
Yeah,
she was going.
she needed
Yeah.
Guidance.
push. Yes.
Dude, it was just crafted well. Because remember when they show the coat of arms at the end? I fist pumped.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, fuck yeah, dude, she got it. You
Yeah.
know?
And whether
Oh.
or not any of that is true, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
For
It's the way they
sake of
told the
movie?
story. Yeah. It was sick. Love this movie.
I'm gonna say it. I am a Sally Hawkins fan.
Go
Hell
off.
yeah,
In
dude.
this movie, giving her a nominee for Modi, dude.
Whoa. Whoa.
Respect, but that's like a respect-driven Modi.
Even in
Yeah.
even in Paddington 1 and 2, you gotta
See?
put the Modi on. You gotta put the Modi like
Crest.
crest. You
yes.
gotta put a Modi crest on her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Like
right.
it.
It's funny to see her in another role where she's kind of an awkward, frail character with a secret friend that she falls in love with.
What's the other one?
Shape of Water.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's
It's like the same thing.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And it's a very British movie in the subject matter and the way that people treat each other. Could be anywhere, but it's
Yeah.
British. And to me, I mentioned this to you, it's a Neil Gaiman telling of
Yeah.
this story. It's very
That's a good way
like,
of putting it.
here's some fantasy stuff mixed in with some historical stuff in that way. And like you were talking about these movies from like your childhood, kind of seems like it could be for a younger audience
Yeah.
somehow. But I mean, they'd probably be bored, but still, it would be like something that you could show kids about like history. I don't know.
Well,
This really happened in 2012.
yeah,
I think maybe like 1 out of 10 would be inspired. You know what I mean? To look a little harder into something, or be intrigued enough to go, what is archaeology? You know?
Well, to your point about being young and seeing it, I do think one of the big takeaways I have with movies growing up is like, I don't think they were made for
yeah,
me.
they were a little too
Yeah,
little
like
too old.
Yeah, like I'm hanging out with an older crowd than I should be. Even watching like the most underhanded pitch, like something like Back to the Future or something.
Yeah.
It felt like if I liked it, it was accidental. It's not because it was made with me in mind. And I can imagine a kid watching this movie today. I think they could like it in the same way that I liked Willow, but I don't think it was necessarily made with their attention spans in mind.
Right. Yeah.
Colin, what do you think, or what do you remember being the first movie that you felt was made for you?
I mean, I was to date myself very specifically, I was a Land Before Time mark. So like
Cool.
going to like the merch tie-ins at Pizza Hut and shit.
That's awesome.
Like that is a kids movie. But if you want to get into like actual kids movies from that era, another thing I'm really bitter about, because I'm born in 81, so I'll let you kind of do your math. This is basically a huge stretch where like no Disney movies are made.
Yeah.
Rescuers 2, Rescuers Down Under, I think. It's like the only movie I made when I'm like a child from Disney. And so it was just Rock-a-Doodle, Brave Little Toaster, like Fievel Goes West, like amazing films from like a technical animation perspective, but so depressing. There was an era of bleakness over everything. And also going back and watching stuff like The Jungle Book and like my favorite era of Disney, which is like the real scratchy drawings, you know, like The Black Cauldron.
Black
That
Cauldron's
was
amazing. You can
it's
still buy
incredible.
those cells on eBay. It's pretty
amazing. But also that one wasn't on my radar so much as like
Tim Burton illustrated in Black Cauldron.
believable. Yeah, it has that design aesthetic. Or all the Ralph Bakshi stuff and Robin Hood. Huge
Yep.
for me growing up, even though it was made before my time. Like that's what I got to watch. And like,
Another historical biopic.
yes. And also, again, all of these, everything I just said, super bleak, super dark, super depressing. So like undertones of abandonment and like just being stray and
So those
alone.
were for you.
Unfortunately. And that's why I'm always fucking bitter towards Disney stuff. Like I have no love, 0.0 love for what I think is now called the Disney Renaissance. Little Mermaid. That was the first movie where I was too old for that shit.
Yeah.
Where I was not gonna fucking watch this. I don't care how good it is in hindsight in terms of like, again, technical animation and all that stuff. Fuck that. And Aladdin comes out, I'm in 6th grade. Like, bro, I was like fucking with like the first Marilyn Manson record. And like I watched Gwar. Like I wasn't gonna go hang out and pretend to be down with Aladdin. And like that was the first, hey, listen, I know this is outdated terminology here, but please bear with me. That was the first like boy cartoon that Disney made. I think the last one before that, Beauty and the Beast, I think comes out before Aladdin. Okay. Yeah. Also, like, oh, come on. Like I'm begging the world to give me something. And they're giving me 2 of the girliest. And this is at a, age when boy stuff and girl stuff is very apparent, and they are giving me the most girly Disney movies that have possibly ever existed. So I'll always have a chip on my shoulder towards Disney unfairly for that.
So, all right, Marilyn Manson era young lad. Like, give me some examples of movies that were hitting you at the time where you're like, this is mine. A
Bucket of Blood from Roger Corman.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Warriors, Slapshot, this is middle school, so it's just all 3 edgy 5 me. Like starting to understand like irony and like watching B movies and stuff like that. Toxic Avenger,
of course.
That kind of stuff was like right up my alley. Rocky Horror Picture Show was like I'll always say, just
it was like an 8th grade thing for me.
Immensely important like films. So yeah, like that. Just the idea of, because again, this is also like Gen X is peaking around this time, and I'm just too young for that, And this is a hard thing to understand, I think, if you weren't in that era. It's not like everyone was like, Nirvana and Soundgarden sure are cool. Hey, I'm wearing a Sonic Youth washing machine shirt right now. No, like Gen X stuff was largely like looking back and trying to get into old shit, So like
swing and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, whatever it was, like Gigantor cartoons. Why was I interested in this? I don't know, but it made me feel like a cool college kid being into like older stuff like that, if that makes sense. Anything just like cult and obscure in like a cult classic sense.
Dylan and Justine, do you recall maybe some of your early movies that you're like, this is for me?
I guess there's 3 that came to mind that I kind of couldn't remember the like timeline of, but Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire. And Independence Day, as we were talking about last time. Those probably sum me up really well.
Nice.
Yeah, I should note that like I loved Star Wars and Back to the Future and stuff, but specifically, I didn't feel like those were made for like someone in my age demographic. Yeah. I just felt like I accidentally really liked them. Yeah, so when I say Land Before Time, it's not like I didn't enjoy anything until I saw Land Before Time, but it was like
it's resonant.
That is only a kid's movie, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Did you think of any, Dylan?
Not on the top of my head.
Yeah.
The only things I had was literally a VHS copy of Tommy Boy and the VHS copy of the best of Chris Farley SNL.
Dude, this makes
which is the 2 things I only had as a kid.
Me. I actually just watched Tommy Boy the other day.
I have some Dylan lore.
Yes.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, that's true. But I don't know if that's for me.
You mean
when
like
that hit? I saw it in theaters. That was definitely for me. That and Dark Crystal.
But I meant like as a kid.
Right. I thought you said you watched that like a lot as a kid.
I did, but I was like in grade school.
Okay.
I was thinking like before that. Like I was thinking like I was like 5.
Right.
And all I watched was just the Chris Farley stuff.
I just thought of one that I had forgotten until right now, because I was thinking like, was there anything that like I went and did beyond the movie that was related to the movie? Yes. Fucking Red Dawn when I saw that.
Yeah.
My brother and I made uniforms out of paper bags based on our memory of watching the movie once, and like we would reenact scenes from Red Dawn in our paper bag uniforms. Trippy, man.
But again, that goes to show the kind of entertainment that was for children at the era, which is to say, not
Fuck,
entertainment
bleak.
for
No.
children.
Like Russians are invading your school.
Yeah.
Like, dude, yeah, go hide under your desk.
Yeah, so you can connect to this stuff. Like, obviously, I love Back to the Future. What the fuck did I understand about
Yeah, for real.
going back in time and making out with your mom? It's weird.
He doesn't make out with
No,
her.
he begrudgingly receives
Yeah.
Kiss.
Non-consensual mouth
Yes.
kiss.
Oh, I guess I have Faces of Death, and I also have
Yeah.
I also have South Park Bigger, Badder, Uncut.
Sick.
Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
I think it's bigger, longer.
Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
Wow.
Those are the 4 things. And the Doug Show.
Okay. So, The Lost King. Are we going to fund the excavation, or are we leaving this one buried? Ladies, gentlemen, have you been listening to what I've been saying? We're excavating. This is a masterful film. Highly recommend it. Complete, like I said, Charm City. 2 words. Charm City, baby. It's The Lost King. Can't recommend it enough. Justine?
I think it was good. I don't, for some reason, have like so much of a glowing review. I liked it very well, but you know, I wouldn't necessarily say rush out to the theater. It's not like something you need to see on a big screen or anything, but you know, a cozy night at home for sure. For sure. Excavate and give her the credit.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, I'll fund that excavation, man, and you can give me 12 of these movies a year. I'll be happy.
I mean, that's a reach. I don't think you're
I
going
don't
to get
care,
it.
like if it's like if it's got archaeology, if it's got a university being the bad guy, you know what I mean? Like, and you got Coogs, you got Hawkins in there, man. Yeah, I'll take it. I dug it. What about you, Dylan?
I liked it a lot. And, you know, Sally Hawkins and what's his name?
Coogs.
Steve Coogan did a great job. And I feel like those movies do come out 12 times a year. They're just not here.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Like-
Regal, Regal, are you listening?
You mean like the BBC kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. British film.
dude. I
We did
love
see
that shit.
Living earlier this year too. That was,
That's true.
I guess, similarly quaint.
Yeah, she needed to team up with him, the public works
Ooh.
department.
Well, did you see the post-credit scene where she goes up to the guy from Living and is like putting together a team?
Did you actually see the post-credit scene? So like they show you, she goes to the grave site. She's like, I love you so much. And then she walks away from the grave. Then it's like from the ground, you see Richard III's gravestone. And then you just see rocks kind of float up in the air.
It's not like a hand penetrating the dirt, but
Yeah,
it does
it's an
imply that
implication.
something is going on. It's pretty trippy.
This is my new least favorite trope. Okay. Speaking of least favorite, a good person. Listen, you thought Zach Braff was done with you at Garden State? You fool. He's got a new one locked and loaded for you. It's called A Good Person. It's got Florence Pugh. So this lady, this Florence, she's about to get married. Shows horrifically saccharine scenes of her engagement with a human man, and she's driving around the next day, and she's got the human man's sister and the sister's husband, and they're driving around, and a friggin' like earth, what do they call it? Like a bulldozer?
Yeah.
A bulldozer hits them on a freeway, and Florence
Her
lives.
name's Allison.
Allison lives, and the 2 people she's with die, and then it's like 1 year later, and she is not engaged to that guy anymore, presumably because of complications with her, getting in a car crash and thus having the death of her sister-in-law,
There's so much
She's
pain on your face right now.
living at home. And she's getting hooked on pills, man. She's these OxyContin, man. They got a hold of her. And this is a real straight-faced, sincere story of this woman trying to get over her OxyContin addiction and reconnecting with this family who she killed some people of. And okay, listen, I realize this. I'm grateful for this movie.
Oh, are you?
Yes, because I realize that the people I like in life or gravitate towards in life or like tend to surround myself with or whatever are people who have just like faced a certain degree, I don't want to say of adversity, because everyone's faced adversity to some extent, but I'd say like probably internalized at an early age, like that they aren't shit. Like someone early on went up to them and was just like, you aren't shit in one way or another. And that person just made that a part of themselves and went forward in life saying like, you know what? Yeah, right. And so, when it comes time to like, let's say do a fucking hacky cover of Velvet Underground's After Hours, they'll sit at the piano and be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this because I'm not shit. And guess what? That person, these people, this, cabal of enlightened individuals is 100% correct. They aren't shit. But there's this other side of humanity that has never been told that they aren't shit. Or if they were, the lesson didn't stick. And so they think they can do anything they want. And without any hesitation, there is a confidence and stride in what they do. And this is a side of humanity that I will never be able to relate to. And one individual in this community is behind the camera writing and directing this film, and his name is Zach Braff. And the other person who is part of this community is in front of the camera, and her name is Florence Pugh. And without skipping a beat or just an iota of self-doubt, they are just storming forward and shoving this movie down your throat as if they could do no wrong.
Did you know that they were dating at the time, in spite of being over 20 years apart?
Sure. And I'm not with there's this like new breed of age gap shaming. I'm not with it.
I'm not shaming it. I'm just saying.
Let me tell you, I'm pushing back.
I found it interesting for the dynamic of this film because it's all right. So today is Sunday and we record on Sundays, and I hadn't seen this movie before tonight. So I asked Colin, I said, hey, do you recommend that I go see A Good Person? And he sends me a devil emoji and says, yes, absolutely. So I type back in all caps, God damn it, why did I do that? So he sends another devil emoji and he says, Zach Braff has an amazing cinematic voice with another devil emoji. Then I don't respond. I get another devil emoji and it says, Florence Pugh is a very convincing opioid addict with another devil emoji. So I tell him I might compromise and just read the script in a coffee shop with my friend Dylan. I go, damn, actually I should try to read the script. So I go online and I try to find the script. And when I type that in, I get all these like weird results of like articles surrounding this movie, all of which showed Zach Braff in his Scrubs outfit for some reason because they don't have a current picture of him. I couldn't find the actual script, but people were, that's where I learned that, he wrote this script while living with Florence Pugh and would lock her out of his room so that she couldn't see what he was working on because it's going to be like the role of her lifetime. But you're telling me it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, I have such contempt for this kind of movie, which is like very self-serious film. That just is not as smart as it thinks it is. Yeah. And like just has cracks showing all over. And I don't know. There's just a different kind of person that maybe this works for, but I was just really sick to my stomach watching it. Justine's not as biased as I am. I don't know. You didn't like this either, and that's how I know it's a shitty movie. If I check with her and she hates it.
First of all, it was 10 hours long. And we saw her born and we saw her die. And in between, some other things happened. But I hate this trope of the manic pixie dream girl who I clocked as being this character before I knew that he was responsible for the original manic pixie
Garden
dream girl.
State,
It's the same thing. Let me show her singing a song on a piano. First of all, let me backtrack for a moment.
I'm gonna tag on to your thing if you're talking about music.
I am.
Okay.
Like basically, it opens with her singing at a piano at her own engagement party, and just like, this is so great. Thanks everybody for coming here.
With a wrapped group of attendees of the most like ethnically and gender diverse
black.
Group of people.
She's herself,
which you would never guess based on the words that they're given or anything else in the movie. So just for those keeping track, this is a middle-aged white guy writing 20-year-old black man and white woman.
Oh wow, okay.
Weird that it didn't work.
And 80-year-old black man.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's everything but what he is. He's writing
He wrote
for.
he wrote lines for an 80-year-old black guy.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Well, Colin, can you go ahead and tell me what it sounded like?
I'd love to. God damn it! I can't do it. I don't do a good Morgan Freeman.
Who does?
Oh, is it Morgan Freeman?
It's Morgan
Yes.
Freeman.
Oh, okay.
You want to know something fucked up? Okay, so it's Morgan Freeman and his Jesus Christ. This is. We'll just arbitrarily stop this at some point. I know this is going to go on for so long. He's the part of this is bookended with Morgan Freeman is a cop. He is the dad of Florence Pugh's fiance and his sister, who she kills. So she essentially gets in a car crash that kills
Morgan Freeman's daughter.
oh, you killed my daughter.
Yeah, that's what he sounds like. And he is in a basement with trains. He's a model train guy. And you might think, it's like people like trains because they are in charge of their world and they can control their world. And at some point she's like because she has, we're skipping around here, but because she is hooked on these opioids after the car crash, she starts going to AA meetings and meets Morgan Freeman. Whoa, what a small world. And so Morgan Freeman shows her his trains and he's like, I've been down here playing God too long. And it's like, oh man, they really brought up the God thing. Okay. Iconic.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the reference.
I mean,
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know you were a Bruce Almighty head.
Who isn't?
Respect.
Anyways. So yeah, she's okay, sorry. She's playing to a rapt audience in like a loft in, I guess, Jersey.
Yeah, it's in New Jersey.
Very in New Jersey.
You see them, I guess, after the party or something, and she's like, this is so exactly like if you chat GPT a script of a movie like this, it would have these scenes in it where it's like, she's on the bed, kicking her feet back and forth, only wearing underwear and a band t-shirt. She's like, I'm so high from that gummy you gave me. Hee hee hee.
Oh,
and he's like, I just like your butt. And then I'm going to stand up on the bed and dance around. I don't even know what that was about. And he was like, you should get a job. And she's like, I'll be a dancer. And so she's like dancing. They fully do the part where she's like, then like gets on top of him and they like put the sheet over their heads and the camera's under the sheet. Like, you're really doing this.
The classic dead wife movie shot.
Yes.
Damn.
Anyway, yeah. And then she gets into the wreck and then she becomes a different kind of manic pixie dream girl. She cuts her own hair.
What? That's not
With
like the other
scissors.
girls. That's not like the other girls at all.
And her mother, Molly Shannon, as Molly Shannon, is telling her, why did you get your own hair? You need to get a job. And yeah, she's just like running around in like a Nick Cave t-shirt, cut off sleeves.
Oh, no.
No, again,
with
not
this-
that is so unlike all the other girls.
Yeah, and she's, she likes Fleetwood Mac.
What? That's
And
not
the
like
Rolling
other girls at all.
Stones.
Fleetwood Mac and Stone.
Yeah. So,
Again, not like the other girls.
no. And she wears a big sweatshirt.
Whoa.
She wears like kids clips in her hair that she
That's
stole from a
fucking
drugstore.
wacky.
Oh,
But
you know what it is? It's because we're not used to it because they're in the Garden State.
Mm.
We don't see that often.
Yeah, she doesn't excessively swear or anything, does she?
Oh, only like all the time.
What? She's constantly
So
swearing.
does Morgan Freeman.
Sure. Wow, it's like
Chrissy on
everyone.
Yeah.
So everyone in this movie has the same voice. You're saying?
Yeah.
Weird.
If you close
But they're
your
different
eyes
characters, but-
and you kind of like shifted all the lines around.
It wouldn't make a difference.
Not at all.
Weird, because
Yeah.
they're such completely different backgrounds. One is a Vietnam veteran and a former policeman. The other is his granddaughter, who's a teenage girl.
Yeah, she's a
and
16-year-old soccer player.
Other's an adult girl, and there's Molly Shannon's mom. And you're saying that all of this dialogue is just completely interchangeable with them?
Yeah.
Oh, what a coincidence.
So all you keep seeing basically is her trying to get pills because like her doctors won't give her any more prescriptions. And so she's going and hitting people up. And it's like, okay, that's, something that addicts do where she's like, I'm not an addict. I just need some pills. And it's like she starts trying to blackmail people she knows and reaching out to people and alienating friends because she's trying to get a fix. And then eventually she's like, I need to go to rehab. And she goes to something anonymous.
Yeah.
He says it's AA. She says it's AA.
She says it's
She's
NA.
in there for She says AA and NA.
Yeah. Hey.
She's
Hey.
we're here for A.
What do you want?
I'm an A. I need to go here.
Right.
And she's with Morgan Freeman there. And so she starts kind of trying to get better. But then there's this whole element of there is a daughter who has been orphaned by this car accident. And she feels really guilty, of course, about this. Morgan Freeman has now been charged with taking care of this girl, this teenager, and he has no idea how to raise a teenager. He's like 100 years old, and she's out of control because of the trauma that she's had. So a large part of this movie is her connecting with this, I guess her ex future niece.
Jeez, this kind of sounds like a lot of like almost two entirely separate storylines that are just kind of smashed together like so many G.I. Joe figures.
Yeah. It's really offensive because it's like, okay, she keeps slipping back. And then, okay, she's coming back. She realizes she needs help. Oh, she keeps slipping back. Oh, no, she's okay now. Now she's, she has withdrawal, but it's not that bad. She's kind of itchy, And I hate movies like this because it's like, what is it supposed to show us? That addiction is bad, which we know. They don't really talk about like she was pushed on, like opioids were pushed on her. Okay, this happens to a lot of people. And she has a network, of people who are trying to help her. She says something like, I think I really need to go to like an inpatient rehab. And her mom's like, well, we don't have money for that. We don't have insurance. What are you going to do? She lives with her mom. Her dad is out of the picture. And she's like, well, do you think dad would give me some money? And she's like, I don't want to talk to that man ever. He left us. And she's like, that's true. But he left her a Rolex watch in the attic of her dollhouse when he left the family. So don't worry.
Yeah.
She just pawns the Rolex and pays for her rehab. Does rehab, starts swimming again, which she ditched when she was 12 because her dad left.
Oh, but guess what? The granddaughter played soccer again, too, which she used to do. So it's like their lives are like similar.
Yeah. She was like, she becomes friends with that daughter. And then she's like, you should play soccer. But she gets better, of course. And then Morgan Freeman's like, okay, good job. That's it, like everything's fine. I guess she doesn't quite get back together with her ex-fiance.
Right.
Turns out she was the one who dumped him because she was all messed up and she was like, I wanted to die. She has like survivor guilt and stuff. And he's kind of moved on. When she finds that out, she's really sad about it. But they're fine. Everything's cool after she gets clean.
It's like a life goes on kind of thing. Oh, man. Oh, God, this is just grade A stupid. So Morgan Freeman has a tattoo on his wrist. It's the Latin phrase.
Amor fati.
Amor fati, right? And this is everything. There's chef's kiss.
It was either that or memento mori.
He has amor fati on his wrist. He reaches over to get something. This is like when she's just getting into rehab, right? And so they're kind of like freshly reacquainted. And she's like, what does that tattoo mean? And he's like, some things are better left a secret. This is a secret. She's like, all right. And then he dies in the movie of old age, like natural causes. And he leaves a envelope. And in the envelope, it's like, amor fati means to love your fate. And that's what we got to do is love our fate. She didn't mean literally what those words mean. It's why one would have that tattoo, which is not really explained. It's like, you have a snake on your arm and someone's like, oh, what's that tattoo mean? It's a snake.
It means
it's a reptile.
Yeah.
It's a creature on Earth.
He unlocked Latin for her, is what you're telling me.
It's not. She doesn't need it translated. She means, why do you have that tattoo? What does it mean to you? And like the grand finale, the ending of it is like, here's what this Latin words literally mean. And that is everything you need to know about this movie. Except for, I also need to mention, me and Dylan watched Southern Gospel last week, 2 weeks ago, I forget. And I was like, man, that music fucking sucked. Like, that was the shittiest fucking music I ever heard. And that might as well be the fucking soundtrack of the year next to this music. This music is somehow worse.
No.
Listen.
Wouldn't think there would be music
why?
in this movie.
Based on everything
the Shins.
Listen, you get... like so many shots of just her playing original compositions.
Oh no.
On a piano, and like she has that kind of voice, like what the like husky, like serious music girl's voice over a piano, and like
Where it's like, I'm broken. Can you deal with it?
Like literal original compositions.
That basically sounds like that.
Yeah.
I mean, lyrically.
And like, yeah, it's that kind of just, serious music songwriter girl voice, Like, okay, listen, I know I'm going off the rails here. They open up with her doing After Hours from the Velvet Underground. Like, just think for a second of how understated and quiet the performance of that song should be if Lou Reed, a monotone mumbler, was like, you know what? I'm too rocking for this. I'm gonna give it to Maureen Tucker. She's gonna sing talk the song. And it's a beautiful song, not because of the song itself, but because it's like delivered just so earnestly and quietly. That's the real important part of that song. But it is just sung with no regard like that. It is just like, when you close the door. Yeah.
At her own engagement
Yes,
party.
to her friends, just performing to her friends.
She then calls on to sing along, and they all know it.
And that's the cover song, that's one thing. But then she's doing original compositions. Okay, when she's down hanging out with Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman in real life, I've done the math. He's 85 years old. There's like a little
There's a microphone.
Yeah, a microphone thing. Like you click it, you go. So that in the train world, right, which Morgan Freeman views over, you could be like, all aboard, we're signing up, so
bad.
She breaks this CB radio thing out and starts singing, take the last train to Clarksville, you can meet me at the station, I'll be there. Say the next line of that song. Anyone in this room? Last train to Clarksville, meet you at the station. Next line, give you $100 to someone that can. No,
I'll be there.
I hope you're waiting there.
Something like that. I don't know. Basically, no one really knows. Takes the last train to Clarksdale. I'll be there at 4:30. You'll see something, and then it goes into basically what I'm trying to say here is she starts singing this song on a microphone at Morgan Freeman, an 85-year-old man, who then joins in and starts singing like the verse of the song, the rest of the chorus of a song that no one in this room could just shoot from the hip and say. This guy he would have been 28 years old when this song came out. It's a Monkees song. The Monkees were like children entertainers in the 60s. And he has this song committed to memory enough to where this broad just bringing in impromptu singing for no reason, without, provocation, starts rattling off this song because there's trains, you see. And he joins in, no problem. A Vietnam veteran, a former police officer. A Jersey police officer is going to just, and I'll be there at 4:30 and I'll meet you at the thing. Oh, no.
Terrible alcoholic. Also, like a violent alcoholic who hurts his children when he's drunk. Monkees.
You see what I'm saying when I say that?
You're saying it should have been Onyx Slam, and he should have been like, Onyx hit you in the face.
I mean, it would have been like before, like
she just shouldn't have been singing.
Nothing. There's no reason for her to sing it all in the whole movie, and there's so much of it, and it's so atrocious.
Lot of singing.
Okay, like.
Did it feel like a role that a dude wrote for his girlfriend
Yes.
that they was on the outs with?
And there is a full 5 minutes of some original composition, and her just like slow-mo walking through her inpatient place.
Yeah, it's like a montage, like music video.
Yeah, it's like,
stuff.
okay, this is her spending her time at the place. But yeah, music video, full song. you're sitting there. You wish you were watching a movie, even if it was this movie, rather than this music video.
Post sobriety. She's in a nightclub singing a song on a piano. Yes. Another song. She wraps up the song, right?
God damn it.
She says, I have CDs for sale at the coat rack because I am also the coat check girl. So come see me at the coat check. I will sell you a compact disc.
I'm starting to think the photos of Zach Braff in Scrubs are recent.
Nothing has aged in this man's
Christ.
mind. You done?
I don't even know.
Okay. Don't watch this movie. I'm not even going to come up with a funny pun.
Now, unfortunately, you know what? I don't think Florence Pugh is a bad actor.
No, she's pretty good.
I don't know of anything I have ever seen her in that I've liked, but I don't think she's a bad actor.
And then Midsommar would be like the thing that broke her through.
Yeah.
But I don't care about a fucking Wicker Man ripoff where they just prance around in the field.
Yeah,
give a shit.
and Morgan Freeman's in it. Legendary
Morgan
actor.
Freeman's good as shit.
Yeah.
Listen, here's how fucked up. This is again, I'm thankful for this movie because it makes me really appreciate Morgan Freeman because he is working with a dog shit, brain dead script and fucking doing his goddamn job and delivering. And he is the only thing in this movie that's like cool to watch in action. So shout out to Morgan Freeman. He's doing his goddamn job. Imagine you give him something fucking good to work with. Holy shit.
I did read that Zach Braff had to beg Morgan Freeman to be involved.
So he did this other movie with him, Going Out in Style or Going in Style, which I think that's a senior cinema. It's a bunch of old guys and they want to die.
Oh yeah, with like Robert De Niro and all them.
Yeah. He did two other movies other than Garden State. He did Wish I Was Here, which I have no idea about, and Going in Style, which has Morgan Freeman in it. Hence, he can get him to be in an absolute dog shit movie like this, but also fucking perform. So shout out to Morgan Freeman. I'll say that.
It's an unfortunate situation for them to be in.
Abysmal watch. One of my least favorite movies of the year. No.
Yeah.
It's out.
Yeah, I will say no. Sorry. I know they tried. Maybe. There's, this is like maybe an aside. There is something, and I can't think of what it is, but it's it sounds like a Diane Kruger effect, but it's the thing where people who...
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Okay, yeah. So the people who are like bad at stuff estimate that they're way better at it than they are. And then people who are good at stuff estimate that they're a little worse at it than they really are. That's what this movie feels like. I'm the best. I know what I'm doing. Good movies.
I am making a serious film for serious people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you made this.
This is in my bottom four for sure. The only movie I could think of that was worse than this for sure was Marlowe for me.
Yeah.
That was a worse movie than this. But there's only 4 movies this year that I've watched that I've actively disliked, and this is one of them. Well, we can teaser this, right? And we can, I don't know how much of this we can include in this episode or what, but I want to do like the quarterly report next ep, right? So we got a whole list we'll get to, maybe hand out some awards, sort it out. I have some plans. But do you have?
I got. So I was going to try a fun activity. I didn't know that you had plans for an award show, but what I did.
Well, this is preamble.
We're prepping.
We're shooting from the hip here.
I printed out a list of this quarter's films that we've seen or at least covered, so you can have a frame of reference. Now, obviously, this isn't going to have actors and such, but this is just something that like will jog your memory. And I kind of wanted to maybe go through this. This is I didn't do a count, but this fills up an entire sheet of paper. And I figured we'd go through last year's favorite categories, spitballing, maybe like who comes to mind first, something kind of spontaneous versus something academic.
36 movies, by the way. 36
36?
movies.
Okay. Yeah, so we've seen 36.
I want to hold out till next week for my final verdict.
Yeah, but
just because who knows?
Right
who knows? A lot of things can happen between now and then.
So let's all right, so if I said favorite supporting actress, is there anybody that jumps out at you from any of these? Since I put this together, I already kind of wrote down a few. I really liked Mariana Trevino, who was Marisol in Otto, the first movie we saw of the year. She was the one that was pregnant. I thought she was really sweet in that movie because she cared for Otto, in the miserable wreck that he was. So that was the first one that really came to mind for me. Now I'll do a deeper analysis.
Yeah.
That was.
I mean, I like the phone in Skinamarink. I thought that did a really good job.
Yeah.
She was great. Supported the story. I don't know, just really shooting from the hip that the friend of an age, which is like a front runner, I think, for like movie in general. I have a hard time believing that's not going to be really in the upper echelons of the first quarterly report.
Yeah,
coming
it
next
might even
week.
make it all the way through.
Who knows? That is a phenomenal film. I think it's my favorite film I've seen this year. Definitely like in the top 3. But she was. I mean, just for being a fun character and not like just the same kind of thing you've seen over and over again. I love it if you can be a terrible person on screen and like just not derail the movie.
And she just stayed it. Yeah, she
Awful.
didn't like
awful person, but did a good job at doing that. So
definitely memorable.
I got room in my I got room for that. Oh, the pigeon from Inside.
Good
The
job.
pigeon, yeah.
It was like second build. Yeah.
But like, who's supporting an 80 for Brady?
Oh, bro, good
Yeah.
fucking
They're
question.
all supporting each other because
Yeah,
they're all
right? Okay.
friends.
I would say the cast for 80 for Brady.
Entire
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
The lady from Otto, and the lady from the Devil Conspiracy.
Yes.
She did a great job.
She killed it. Yeah.
Wait, the like evil scientist lady or
No, I'd say both actually.
I think the main one is just the main one, so I don't think she counts as supporting.
No, I'll
No,
put
the evil
I'll put the evil lady.
Yeah, the evil scientist
The
lady.
evil Satanist.
Oh, the evil
For sure.
one. Yeah.
Liz.
Dang.
Shoot another prelim.
Yeah. All
prelim.
right. Do you recall any supporting actors offhand? I put down, this is recency effect, Richard Roundtree, moving on. Just because I love seeing him on screen. Richard Roundtree was, of course, Shaft. You know, he's had a long, illustrious career. And to see him just in a really sweet role, I don't think it was necessarily a strong role, but it was just a nice surprise. So, like, I went off of, just off the hip.
Yeah, I'll also shoot from the hip and say Lance Riddick because that's how the academies do it. They just give it to someone who.
Why couldn't they
You
give
know.
him a squib death instead of, like, some bad CGI blood? Anyway,
Look.
we don't talk about that. All right.
I'm gonna say Kid Cudi, right?
Ooh,
For supporting actor?
10 out of 10
Yeah.
pick.
Yep.
A+ pick.
I got him in a different category, but all right.
Luke Cage from Plane.
Yes.
But I don't know. That, I feel like lead.
He was
That's more-
supporting.
Yeah,
He was
it's
supporting.
more like the
100%
other guy
supporting.
was the
All
lead,
right.
bro.
All
Yep.
right.
There's a Gerard Butler vehicle
Yes.
with
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, see?
All right, what about favorite girl boss?
I forget. Dude.
For reference, I put Emily.
Megan.
It is the answer is Megan.
Bronte.
Shoot, Puss in Boots was
Last
last
year.
year. I was gonna say Florence Pugh from Goldilocks and Puss in Boots.
Dang, that'd be funny. You come back right back around on Florence Pugh.
bang, bang.
Wow.
That was Florence Pugh.
Yeah, they did the voice.
Yeah, I rocked Emily just because like she ended up publishing in spite of pressure.
That is a classic girl boss.
Yeah.
In a pinch, I'll have to say Megan.
I know you guys didn't see it, but I'd probably say the girl from Broker.
Oh, cool. That Korean movie, right?
Yeah, because she tried to give her baby away, then was like, nah, fuck it, I'll try and sell the baby.
Damn, that is girl boss. That is girl boss as it gets. You said Megan, Justine?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Favorite script? I got to go with, I think I could read Maybe I Do and be like, this is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking the same thing because
Yeah.
it's like my scripts I tend to like as scripts are like, have that play feel to them.
Yeah.
And that one is a very tightly wound one. I was thinking the same thing in my preliminary mulling overs.
Uh-huh.
Justine, you got a script?
Skinamarink, of course.
Oh, yeah. I
Has
thought about
lots of words.
Skinamarink. Skinamarink was up
Has
there.
a script for sure. But it would probably be Maybe I Do. I'm trying to think of like what did I think was like witty.
Yeah. Maybe Du's basically like a playwright.
I did like the Magic Mike's Last Dance script. Like just straight up, like opening with him air fucking.
Yeah, like how does that read on the page?
Yeah,
we
it's
gotta
like,
see that.
it's like, I don't
I
know,
like that.
He made it work.
All right, hit me with your chillest vibe.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike's your chillest vibe. All right.
Man,
He was just himboing it up the entire time.
I mean, it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
He didn't care what he's getting paid for. He's just gonna go over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I'll get on a plane. I'll eat some fruit. Oh, no, I don't eat vegetables.
I'll eat some cookies.
I don't fuck
Cook
with vegetables.
Yeah.
That is a very chill vibe.
So my front runners for chillest vibe are Lily Tomlin in Moving On and Kid Cudi from House Party. And I think it's Cudi.
I think that weird gloopy thing from Ant-Man and the Wasp was pretty cool. I remember him being chill. Oh, that dinosaur that got stuck in the tar in 65.
Chill.
That
Yeah.
wasn't chill.
Oh, the one they saved and then they got killed.
Yeah.
That might be like best child actor.
I mean, he did get stuck.
He did get out.
Yeah.
I would also have to put Jane Fonda from 80 for Brady.
Oh, that
She
was
was a
definitely
chill
chill.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with her and that one other lady that ate the hot wings.
Well, I don't know. I mean, then you're
Sally Field.
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
we're entering the Guy Fieri zone, and that's
He was chill.
it's an argument too.
I'm gonna say in Cocaine Bear, the blonde guy that was in the gang that stabs people,
Yeah.
and then he was just like hanging out with them.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That guy.
that's
Great
an
pull.
amazing
Great
pull.
pull.
All right, what about your favorite visual effects?
Skinamarink.
Might unironically be Skinnery. No, I don't know. Megan was fucking cool
Yeah.
looking. And then again, the magic flute did deliver.
That snake, man.
The world ending and knocking the cabin.
As we learned from as we learned from the Oscars, it can mean anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, the devil conspiracy
devil
period.
conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everything, every frame of the devil conspiracy.
It was so awesome. I like that. I like John Wick 4 and then Megan.
I can't believe the devil conspiracy still isn't streaming anywhere.
It
That
isn't?
is- not that I know of.
I don't know.
Waiting for the physical.
Yeah.
Steelbook.
Yeah, when they come out, then they go on streaming.
That's just so unfortunate that the most psychotic movie I've seen all year is just going to be buried by dust and forgotten by time.
Re-release summer blockbuster.
I wonder if we'll be able to
conspiracy.
buy it at some point, like actually own it. Like
Yeah.
we can distribute it.
Oh,
Oh,
We
like
can
the
do-
rights to it.
Yeah, the rights. We can do
The IP.
screenings. You know,
Bro, that movie
it's a
rips
Regal
so-
Movie Masters unlimited joint. You know.
That movie kicks so much ass.
Do you guys? Can you recall a child actor that stood out for you?
the knock at the cabin.
Yeah, she was adorable. Yeah, but I ended up writing down Amy Donald, who played Megan, and Christian Convery, who was in Cocaine Bear. He was the kid that did coke.
Oh,
He was cool. I like the little bears though. I think they might be.
For child actor.
Yeah, the little bears. In
Oh,
oh,
Cocaine
you know
Bear.
the Penelope Cruz's
Selma
Selma
Hayek's
Hayek's kid in Magic Mike.
You know what? That's a good pull. That was
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
actress.
Okay.
Lucifer as a baby in
There we go.
in the devil conspiracy.
Climbing out of the.
Out of the monitor
Oh,
of
that?
the ultrasound.
Okay, okay.
We
They
might be
made like at
moving
the end.
toward a devil conspiracy sweep, in the end.
Yeah,
We'll see. I don't know if there was anything that really qualified, but favorite animated feature? Have we seen one? yet?
There's Amazing Maurice,
Okay, yeah. You saw that.
which I only saw.
Yeah. I saw Shin Ultraman, which had some animation, so that'd have to be mine just by default.
Yeah, I don't think Dang, that sucks. Have I not seen a cartoon this year?
I mean, last year there was only like 3, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
What about your favorite theater experience?
Might have been John Wick. Everyone just shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
I like that.
That is a
They're
good
just
one.
true, like Chad Wick respecters.
I have to go with Cocaine Bear just because I love the dudes in front of us being like, man, you just gotta fucking shoot the bear. And then like people just like howling, and I don't know. That was just rowdy. It was fun.
I will say Southern Gospel was awesome because it was just me and Dylan in the theater.
Screaming. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
I considered The Wedding Planner just because like I
oh,
walked
the
in,
Wedding
you guys,
Hustler.
Or
That
Wedding
was-
Hustler, yeah. And like you guys were just already in there. Dylan's
Yeah.
wearing a mask, and I had just walked out of some other movie. I walked out of Missing,
Yeah.
and you guys were just laughing your ass off. I could hear you in the hallway. So yeah, that might be.
Wedding
Wedding
Hustler was cool. Yeah. See, how many times do you get to walk into a random movie and it was like filmed in your like city? That's so cool.
Justine, did you have a favorite theater experience?
The Wedding Hustler was probably the funniest
Mhm.
slash funnest.
Yeah.
I think Inside was also like it stuck with me just because it was like this is bizarre that this
Right,
is
right.
showing in this movie theater
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So for opposite reasons,
Yeah, for sure.
Inside and Wedding Hustler.
All right, we'll get into the really fun stuff. Favorite actress in a lead. I put down Sally from The Lost King, and then Diane Keaton from Maybe I Do.
I need to rewatch that movie because I can't imagine it's as good as I remember it being without like again anyone talking about it or hearing about it at
Yeah.
all. Like it can't be that great. I need to watch it again because in my mind it is like a 10, but it can't.
Colin, it's a movie watcher's movie.
I
We're
gotta
movie
go back.
watchers.
With actress is the question.
Yeah, lead actress.
Lead actress.
Mhm.
I already picked a phone from Skinamarink.
The plane from Plane.
Yeah, that's good.
that was a female
It
plane.
was a female plane.
What's the girl's name in Missing? I'm gonna say her.
Mm,
I
She was
forget
good.
her name. We'll find out next week.
man. Yeah, I can't think of any good ones.
It's kind of weirdly like a lot of ensembles that have women other than The Lost King.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so far.
I'm tempted to say Emily just because she took up so much time on
Yeah,
screen.
you can't. Well, there's no way you could say Emily over Lost King.
Oh yeah,
Sally
what are we
Hawkins.
talking about?
Yeah.
Sally Hawkins. There we go. Easy pitch.
Yep.
Sally Hawkins.
Favorite actor? Defoe.
Defoe. That's not a question.
And I mean, like, and it's an honor to be nominated. William H. Macy.
Talk about just like face taking up time on a screen, man. That Defoe. Inside? That's not easy, man.
Well, let's see what
There's
Dylan
also
thought.
Keanu.
Yeah, but is that acting?
He's fighting.
Yeah.
He's fighting.
Yeah, he has to
Right.
do a bunch of physical stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
He's acting with his body.
Okay.
Physical acting. Come on.
Dylan, did you have a favorite actor?
Got a couple options. I'll say Tom Hanks from Otto.
Yes.
Liked him. I'll say Archangel
Michael.
Yep.
from
from Devil Conspiracy.
Yep.
And the Skinamarink monster, man. Or Ghost, whatever that is.
Yeah,
The
that showed up
voice.
at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah.
again, another movie I need to see again because I want to watch that movie at home and not pay
It
attention
gets
to it.
scary.
And fall asleep.
And fuck around on your phone.
I have memories of being like so enthralled, but
I feel like I could listen to it on headphones while I'm trying to go to sleep.
yeah.
Until that one part where it's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets really loud.
then it'll wake you up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck.
You just gotta time it right.
What happens in the end, though? You'll be hitting REM sleep by then.
Here's one for the boys. Favorite Sigma male?
There's a lot of bangers.
John Wick does count.
Yeah, John Wick
And
counts.
then you could say the two boys from Scream 6.
Yeah.
You can also say the little kid from Skinamarink.
So what would Guy Fieri qualify as in the context of that movie?
Girl boss.
Girl boss. Okay.
Facts.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You could say Inside guy, Willem Dafoe in Inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate to see the Willem Dafoe sweep, but at the same time, if not Willem Dafoe, then who?
John Wick or Willem Dafoe?
Oh, Willem. All
Okay.
the way.
All
What did he say about the fire? I never mentioned my family. What's that tell you?
Oh.
I don't know why he did
Direct
that in the
quote.
movie.
He says that.
Who's Austin Fortune from Operation Fortune? Is
I
that
didn't
you counting
see
that?
it.
That's
Orson
Alpha.
Fortune. Orson Fortune.
That might be too alpha.
Two might be too
He's
alpha.
just like, whatever. I don't really need sex.
What about the Amazing Maurice?
No, it's a cat. And the kid that he hangs out with gets the girl at the end.
What about the Rats?
That's just a team.
What about Dave Bautista?
too much teamwork. He's under the four horsemen.
Yeah.
It's four horsemen, not the one horseman.
He's not alone. If he
Yeah.
was alone, then yes. But
What about that weird Jesus guy in Jesus Revolution, the Jesus hippie?
hey, I kind of look like Jesus, right, guys?
Lonnie Frisbee?
Oh, I was like
or are you
saying
talking
that
about
name.
Connie Frisbee? Which one?
You know,
Lonnie?
you know what's fucked up? Though he does get married, you can kind of say the guy from Wedding Hustler because he has to
Oh my
work.
God, you're right.
You kind of say that.
The guy from She Came from the Woods that kills the girl because she doesn't want to make out with him.
Goddamn Chad. Love it. Love to see it.
Yeah, that was actually the writer-director.
God tier Sigma. Good call.
Yeah. All right. Favorite director? You don't have to name the person because sometimes that's tricky. You can name the movie.
The Double Conspiracy.
Nice.
I'm not taking away from that, but Of an Age I thought was just so
Yeah, that's
amazing. Like
Goran Stolevsky.
jeez,
Yeah, I've got that down.
getting those performances out is insane.
I think maybe like a 1B or 1C to that would be like Mark Forster for Otto.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like to get those performances, like those are damn good performances, and
Yeah.
it's like delicate subject matter, it's like so it's a lot to navigate. And then just honorable mention Elizabeth Banks, like banging out Cocaine Bear,
Right.
legitimately funny.
Who did Missing? Missing.
The director, I think it was iOS 10
Yeah.
is the director,
Yeah.
and
That was a good job.
Screen
It was a
record.
lot to put on screen.
it's a complicated story. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say it is like that is an impressive movie.
Mhm.
Complicated.
Inventive and complicated.
Dylan, did you have a favorite director offhand?
Oh, I said The Double Conspiracy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The devil,
The
Yeah.
devil.
the Antichrist.
The evil
Oh,
devil.
Satan himself.
The ultimate
Lucifer.
director.
All right. Favorite movie?
Oh, also The Double Conspiracy.
Fuck yeah.
I won't commit, but I'm going to say Inside, Of an Age, and
Scream 6.
maybe I
Maybe I do. Yeah.
Those were top 3.
Yeah, I've actually got Maybe I Do down, and for some reason I wrote down Megan. I think
I
because
mean,
I just enjoyed it.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Colin with those 3,
Yeah.
but I also really liked Missing. I just thought it was one of the most inventive movies that I've seen in a long
Right.
time. And then I like John Wick because I like John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a Devil Conspiracy because I like the Devil
So
Conspiracy.
fucking bonkers. Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot on
more
here.
so than Maybe I Do. I think the Devil Conspiracy was the surprise.
Yeah.
Last category, Haters Ball, worst movie.
All right.
Dylan pick.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Hater pick.
Obviously, Dylan,
Yes.
we've heard your reviews. We know
Yeah.
you like all these movies.
Yeah.
But there has to be one you like less than the others.
Skinamarink.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's either Skinamarink or Skinamarink's just boring, but I get why Colin says it's very important.
I like that movie a lot.
Don't get him started.
Don't get me started.
Don't get him started.
Don't get me started.
I'm going to join you there and say Skinamarink or Marlowe. Skinamarink, I was bummed out because I had high hopes for it. Marlowe, I was just bummed out because it was terrible.
So my bottom 4
Oh, wow. Here we go.
movies that I actively can say that I disliked. A Good Person, Infinity Pool, Jesus Revolution, and Marlowe.
Damn, Infinity Pool makes it that
I
list.
fucking hated. I had so goddamn pretentious.
I didn't know.
I
I didn't know
but I
you,
understand why he's putting it.
I just didn't think you would care that much.
There's
to hate it.
it is just a whole fucking movie of nothing. Jesus Revolution is probably the worst movie I've seen. Marlowe was bad, but it did have some just cool period pieces, like some elements to look at. Yeah, Marlowe and A Good Person are also in the bottom tier.
I think I have to give it to Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool is the worst movie I've seen.
Damn.
Jeez.
At least
Shocker.
A Good Person had some acting in it.
I don't
Infinity
think-
Pool thinks it's smart and thinks it's cool, and it fails on all accounts. Yeah, not good.
There was cum though.
What's the best cum scene? I'd have to give it to them.
Yeah, I'll give it to him because it's Skarsgård.
Let me see. Hold on.
No, I'm
There
gonna
has
give
to be
it.
another cum scene, right?
Where you
Technically the guy
actually
from
see it?
Emily. Yeah, not that you actually see it, but the guy from Emily comes, the priest guy.
I guess in Of an Age too, someone busts.
Yeah, Alvin Age is a way better cum scene. I mean, you don't see the cum.
Magic Mike. There's no
No
cumming.
busting.
No bussin'.
No bust.
Is there anything in She Came from the Woods?
Ironically, the title, She Came in the Woods, you would think someone would be busting. No one busts.
I hate how when we watched She Came, I called it She Came in the Woods to buy the ticket. And I was
Love
like,
it, dude.
it's like, God damn it. And she laughed.
All right, so yeah, that's that.
No. 20 more minutes on this nutting
Yeah,
issue.
shut up. Hold on.
Concentrating.
It's crazy that a movie called Inside does not have nut busting.
No. And, in all fairness, he's locked in that room for a long time. He's probably busting.
The director's cut, just it's nothing but bust.
I mean, he's even got the scrambled porno channel. I mean,
Yeah.
they show that on screen. It's a guy alone in a room for a long time.
Yeah, didn't show us how he got such an affinity toward the cleaning lady. You know what I mean?
That guy's busting.
Yeah.
But again, it's implied. All right, Dylan, take us away.
Unlimited.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited. Get your 12-sided die ready and join us next time where we talk about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. Hopefully going to be really good. We also got His Only Son, an actual biblical biopic. We'll see how that compares to Christian church biopics, and we'll probably compare and contrast everything. Anyways, everybody, we'll see you next week. Bye!